About two broad ways of understanding our nation. The conservative in general approach to that understanding is the strict father framework. It celebrates the idea of discipline. It celebrates the idea of a clear hierarchy. And it celebrates the idea of individual merit leading to outcomes in a person's life. These frameworks are not negative things. We have different opinions about them depending upon where we fall along the spectrum. But that's a broad characterization of that framework. On the other hand, a typical liberal framework is premised on the idea of the nurturant parent. We can see that there's no gender attached to that parent, so it admits the possibility for women, people of different sexual orientations to be parenting, and that idea is very much premised on the idea of inclusivity and the idea of a very much broader spectrum or a broader circle of who counts for care and nurturance. One of the biggest concerns that I've run into when I've talked about this with groups is a feeling of inauthenticity in learning to talk about your vision from another person's perspective. So I want to make very clear that by doing so, it's about the same thing as being able or go down the street and celebrate a religious holiday or a religious event that isn't part of your own tradition. You maintain your own self and your own integrity, but you're becoming multilingual, if you will, with regard. So in effect, we have to let go sometimes of our underpinning, our wish that others may share our interest in a more inclusive society, and focus instead on moving a greater number of people forward in terms of supporting these policies that will benefit more people. So I wonder if we can look at the question of healthcare. Let's talk about healthcare.
Universal healthcare.
Universal healthcare. Okay.
Everybody has a right to decent health care that they can afford.
Everybody has a right to health care that they can afford. Healthcare as a right, not a privilege. Right. Yes.
People who can't afford it shouldn't die.
People who can't afford health care shouldn't die. Right.
Then, if we have an inclusive health care system, does that not reflect in the wealth of our nation? With people who are thriving and contributing, and if you can bring people around the fact that health is important for everyone, it's an investment for us for the future, then I think you can start talking specifics about policies.
Right.
I think talking about policies right away, we've all got our own ideas about how to go there.
Right.
And if we can bring people
Can I play
together.
devil's advocate?
Please.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, okay, that's all fine and well, but you don't have a job, and so I have a job, I'm making a good living, and why should I pay for your health care? You're not even paying your taxes.
Well, we all are paying for everyone's health care in
Whether
different
we're
ways,
paying
just
for it.
inefficiently
Yeah,
and more,
that's right.
right? Where the county pays for it, we pay for it with our taxes, we pay for it with our insurance bills, we pay for it all over the place. And people who don't have health care wait to the last minute and they're sicker and they need more help, and so the system, those people who think they're not paying, that's not true. They are paying.
And you're paying
They're just
more.
paying badly and more.
As much as I agree with everything you've said, I'm quite sure that there are people that would absolutely disagree that people deserve the basics.
And
Unfortunately.
how would they disagree? What would they say?
Somebody come to my house for dinner.
Like you have to work for it, you don't just get it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
It's a privilege, not a right.
It's welfare and socialism.
Right.
Yeah.
So part of what we're talking about is how do we find common ground around these fundamental values, even though we may be coming at it from a root that is not necessarily authentic. And the challenge here is that these things are heartfelt, right?
Yeah.
And deeply held. We who agree with you are going, and others are going to go, It's about merit. Did you earn it? So the challenge is, because inside, if you're like me, you might be boiling a little bit, right? Or maybe more than a little bit, right? That are often what we're going to do is lean in and go, but you don't understand me.
Yeah.
They do. They understand well. We have to come around. We have to come around from a different angle to see if we can talk about it from the vantage point of merit, which may feel quite distasteful, right? It may feel quite distasteful, but if we can bring people in and say, I can get on board with that policy, we make a difference in the lives of people, even though we're not coming at it from a perspective that may feel like it's authentically mine or me. Is that you're one of a potential chain of experiences that this individual will have, and all you want to do, if you walk out of here and forget everything else that was said, which is understandable, we had a lovely meal, a wonderful keynote, your only goal is to arouse curiosity. That is it. So you walk away. And by that I mean you say, well, okay, Uncle Smith, Uncle Joe, nice to talk to you. Let's go watch the game. But Uncle Joe may walk away later and he may read something or talk to 3 other people, and what you said may pop back into mind. So letting go of the need to close the sale, as we say, is one of the things that will serve you very well in this process.